Okay, for this activity, I'm going to ask you to do these challenge problems. Once you convert between fractions and decimals, you're going to have to change either from fractions to decimals or decimals to fractions. I'm going to complete an I do problem with you. And I'm going to give you a you do problem, and I want you to pause the video, do the problem, and then watch the video to see how you did. And then at that time, you can make any corrections. Okay, for the first problem, let's take 6/10 multiplied by -3/4. So I'm going to take -3/4 and change it into a decimal. Multiply the decimals together. Make sure I have the correct sign, and I move the decimal into the correct place. Now for the first you do. Here's your problem. Pause the video and solve it, and then start it again to see how you did. And this is the answer you would have gotten if you would have changed 1/5 to 2/10. You would have ended up with 48 thousandths. Okay, for example B, I would take 3/16. I'm going to divide 3 by 16 to change it to a decimal. And I'd end up with decimal 1875. I'm going to move that over underneath the 3/16. And I'll be able to add decimals by lining up the decimal points. And you end up with 0.7875. And this is you do example B. Pause the video and solve it. And this is what you should have gotten if you would have changed 1/8 to 0.125. So example C, I have a bunch of multiplications here. I'm going to convert the mixed number to a decimal, 6.25. I'm going to use my multiplication rules. And when I end up with the final multiplication, I need 4 decimal places. End up with 0.4375. And back to you for you do letter C. Pause the video. And by converting all the fractions to decimals and multiplying the decimals together, you would have gotten 1800ths. Now turn over your paper because the last example I do and you do are on the back. Letter D. This time I'm going to take the decimal and convert it to a fraction. 2/10 is written 2/10, which is 1/5, so I can write -3.2 as -3 1/5. Add the opposite, plus -4/5. I have a common denominator. I end up with -3 5/5, which is really the same as -4. Now it's your turn. I would suggest to change the decimal to a fraction first. Please pause the video. Since 0.75 is 3/4, I can change 3.75 to 3 3/4. Subtract the numerators because you have a common denominator, and you end up with 3 2/4, which will be simplified to 3 1/2.